He pressed bullets one by one into the ground, turning them into pressure-triggered landmines. Then he gathered even more bullets, scraping out the gunpowder inside to make heaps of explosives that he placed around his farm. To set off the bombs, he dug a trench across the property and filled it with huge amounts of gasoline. He then fixed detonation devices along the enemy's sure path and covered all the traps with grass. Yet to wipe out his enemies, the underground tunnel traps would be the most vital part of his plan. First he modified a double-barrel shotgun to the right length and mounted it at the tunnel entrance. Next he sharpened countless steel rods to razor-sharp points and set them in deep pits throughout the tunnels. For the tunnel ceiling he secured wooden blocks studded with steel spikes. Finally he carved numerous small holes around the tunnel so he could strike enemies from the shadows at any moment. He had to memorize the exact spot of every single trap. There were so many that even he might accidentally trigger one if he wasn't careful. If any enemy happened to dodge all the traps by pure luck, they'd face his compound bow pulled to maximum draw weight. To make sure his enemies had no way out, he also set up claymore mines and C4 explosives throughout the tunnels. Unlike his past battles, this time Rambo wasn't fighting to survive. He was fighting for revenge. He was determined to turn this place into his enemy's graveyard, but what kind of enemies could push a nearly 70-year-old Rambo to such extremes? It all boiled down to his daughter. After retiring from service, Rambo never married or had kids of his own. It wasn't until he was 50 that he adopted a daughter, but when she grew up she insisted on going to Mexico to find her biological father. Rambo warned her not to go, telling her that her father was nothing but trash. But Lisa refused to listen at all and stubbornly insisted on finding that scumbag, never realizing this trip would cost her life. Eventually, with help from a friend in Mexico, Lisa managed to track down her biological father. Yet just as Rambo had warned, the man was totally heartless. Simply because Lisa was a burden to him, he had abandoned her, and this same man had beaten her mother to death. Learning all this crushed Lisa. To cheer her up, her friend decided to take her to a nightclub to relax. This turned out to be the start of Lisa's nightmare. As soon as they got to the bar, Lisa caught a strange man's eye, who secretly slipped drugs into her drink without her noticing. When she woke up again, she had been taken to a human trafficking den where endless torture waited for her. A day and night went by and his daughter still hadn't come back. Rambo grew extremely anxious, so he grabbed his weapons and drove alone toward Mexico, ready for war.